Good morning again, and we're in chapter 26, and now we're going to see a little bit of kind of the Lord repeating to Isaac things that he taught Abraham. And there was a famine in the land beside the famine that was in the days of Abraham, and Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. So the Lord's being very specific about what he wants him to do. Sojourn in this land. And I will be with thee, and I will bless thee, for unto thee and thy seed I will give these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall the nations of the earth be blessed. Sounds very much like Abraham, doesn't it? But I think what's really good about this is it's Isaac getting this. And I don't think, it sounds almost the way that it reads here, like, oh, he wasn't doing anything. He just happened to be asleep or something, and the Lord appeared to him. I don't think that's the case. We've already read about Abraham, how long he took to obtain these blessings, and what he did during his lifetime to obtain these things. And I think Isaac's done the same. If you remember, Isaac himself was almost sacrificed by his father and would have been old enough, most likely, to have run away if he wanted to or overcome the father, but he submitted and was willing to do what his father wanted him to do. At least that's what it seems when we read that. And obviously he has been faithful enough to be able to hear the voice of the Lord and have him appear in this sense. But also, as it says here in number 5, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. So he's going to be blessed, the same thing as Abraham, because of Abraham. We can affect how our children are blessed often, even after we've passed. I learned that in the Book of Mormon as well. Think about Lehi and his posterity and the things that were blessed. So Isaac does exactly what the Lord says. He's not gone down to Egypt. He's not going to do those things. He's going to do what the Lord wants him to do. And the men of the place asked him if of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. I kind of feel, even though I feel like he probably got the inspiration from his father, or he may have got it directly from God as well, because he just seems straightforward. Also, I think there is that little bit of truth. They are cousins, I believe. So not that far off. But it's still this little bit of deceit. But to save his life and to be, in a way, saves the people that they're talking to that would commit even more sin by killing him. And it's best not to go that way. For he feared to say, she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me. For Rebekah, because she was fair, to look upon. So obviously, there was some fear there in this sense. Abraham, it doesn't say that, I don't think, but I still think it's just too much close for him to just do it out of fear, I think. But he at least took a little bit out of his father's experiences. And it came to pass that he had been there a long time, and Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, looked out a window and saw and beheld Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety, she is thy wife, and how saidst thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her. Interesting here, it says in verse 8 that he'd been there a long time, so they know who they are, and they've developed friendships, I guess, relationships with the people there by this time. And Abimelech said, What is it that thou hast done to us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife. They'd been there for a while. And just a quick jump into the north, it just says lane instead of lane, which is always nice to do in these, to have that ability to go in there and understand a little bit what they're trying to say or how they're saying it. And thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us, as if they wouldn't be guilty of murder if they killed him. But it's interesting how different the people are. Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. So he's now in a good position. And Isaac sowed in the land and received the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward and grew until he became great. And just another one here with the footnotes. And the man continually increased in wealth until he was very wealthy. Kind of makes more of a sense than just wax great, but I think we're getting where it's going there. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds, and great store of servants and Philistines. And the Philistines envied him for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham, his father. The Philistines had stopped them and filled them in with dirt, which seems kind of weird. Can't they just use them? But they're so annoyed that they just filled them in again. I think it's a more cultural thing. Like, this is, a statement that they're making. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we, meaning he has all this stuff now. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham. And the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which the father had called them. So all the wells were called again the same names. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there was a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did survive did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, "The water is ours." And he called the name of the well Ezek, which in the footnotes is strife, because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also, and he called the name Sitnah, which again is opposition. And he removed from thence and digged another well. Notice he's not going after them. He's not saying, "Hey, I dug this. You leave us alone, or you come around, we're gonna kill you or something." He's not doing that. And for that they strove not. And he called the name Rehoboth, which again is broad open places. And he said, "For now the Lord hath made room for us, and he shall be fruitful in the land." He basically is saying, well, it could be here. Oh no, you don't want me there? I'll go here. Oh no, you don't want me here? I'll go over here then. Obviously there's plenty of room. And I'll show that. And so he goes to a place where he could not be in conflict with them. And maybe we have that in our lives. Remember the other with Abraham and Lot. Abraham said, "You go this way and I'll go the other way." Or you choose which way you want to go and I'll go the other way. This is happening again. But this time the people are kind of rude about it, really, Hey, you're not digging well here. You're not going to live here. There's strife. And he removes himself from the strife. I think that's such a good example for us to follow. And he went up thence to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, "I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and I will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake." And he built an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Asutha, one of his friends, and Pitchcol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, "Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have seen me away from you?" He recognizes that they haven't been very friendly to him. And they said, "We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee." And we said, "Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, and we have not touched thee, as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord." And he made them a feast, and did eat and drink. And they rose up. I think that's just going to say sometimes, is it? Rose up early in the morning, and swear one to another that Isaac sent. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass that in the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, "We have found water." And he called the place Sheba. Therefore the name was Beersheba, which is a well of oath, because he made that oath with them. And to this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took, and notice how it just jumps to Esau now, when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashmath the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief in the mind of Isaac and Rebekah, because he's marrying outside the covenant, a bitterness of spirit. He's not listening to him. He's not going where they want him to go. He's decided to choose his own path. And sometimes we do that too, but it can still make us feel grief in that brief moment. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.